Hi, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Gray Matter's first episode in our webinar series, maintaining connection, maintaining positive connection, positive wellness to yourself during the time of COVID-19. I'm Sabrina. It's currently 10 a.m., so I'm just going to wait 5 minutes to make sure folks can join in when they want, and then we'll officially begin. But I am so excited to be live with you all today. I know that I can't see you or hear you, but the chat function is right here for you. And just a note on that, your comments will not be anonymous unless you change your name, unless you change your username. So I just wanted to say that for the folks who are currently with me now. So if you want to chat currently, like right now, from now until 10:05, just remember that your comments, your name will be, your name will be shown. And if you want your comments to be anonymous, you have to change your username, your name. So we'll get started in 4 minutes, but I'm so excited to have you all with me today. Yeah. All right, we've got about like 3 more minutes, just waiting to see if more folks join us. Yeah, so thank you all for just being patient, and I'm so excited to talk to you all. I hope everyone is feeling okay this morning. Yeah, there's so much to talk about, but I just wanted to say that for those of you who are watching me currently now. Yeah, I'm just setting that intention out. I hope everybody is okay this morning. All right, so we have about 2 more minutes, and then we will begin. Thank you so much for being patient. We've got about 10 folks with us currently, so let's just see if any other folks, got 11 now. Let's see if any more folks join us. It's about like a minute and a half left. Okay, we've got about like 30 seconds left, and then we will officially get started. Okay, yay. It is currently 10:05, and we are going to begin. So again, just an official welcome. Thank you so much for being here with me today. This is the first episode in the Gray Matters webinar series, Maintaining Mindfulness and Connection during the time of COVID-19. So just to go over a little bit of why we are putting on this webinar series. As we all know, this is sort of a particularly heavy time for most folks. And so we really wanted to put on this webinar series to support folks in strategizing and finding creative ways to sort of thought map around any difficulties or, derail any negative feelings or maybe unhealthy mechanisms that are coming up, or just any feelings of unwellness. This webinar series is here for that. This is really a space to sort of just creatively, talk about mindfulness activities, ways to ground yourself, ways to self-soothe, self-resource during this time of just, self-isolation. There's a lot of sort of political things coming up. The world is sort of cemented in this really tense time right now, understandably so. And so this webinar series is really here to honor and hold any feelings that might be coming up for you. Any feeling that you're having during this time is a valid one. And this is really a time to just sort of be creative and explore different or alternative ways to healing during this time, and just ways to support you all in problem solving around difficult emotions that might come up, or maybe feelings of anxiety or just low mood or anything like that. And so this is really like a space to interrogate and investigate those things. And I just want to make it clear that this is not a treatment group, and that this webinar episode and series should not by any means replace your treatment plan or, replace psychotherapy, or this is not a group therapy situation. This is merely a psychoeducational group where we're here to sort of, share info, share different tips, different strategies around what might be coming up for you, and to also explore and have fun trying out some mindfulness activities and, exploring some different grounding techniques. So yeah, that's just a little bit of why this series is taking place. We at Gray Matters are with you. We stand in solidarity with you, no matter what point you're in this journey. And we really care deeply about the emotions or the processes or the feelings that might be coming up for you during this time. And so just a little bit about me. My name is Sabrina Sarro. I am a clinical psychotherapist and curriculum development specialist at Gray Matters. My pronouns are they, them, theirs. So you can just call me Sabrina. And I'm really, really excited to just talk to you today about possible creative strategies and a mindfulness activity that I think, can be really effective in just settling ourselves and connecting us to the present state. And then again, I just want to remind folks that I love any questions that you might have, any comments, if you want to interact with me during the live through the live chat. And I just want to reiterate that, again, your comments will not be anonymous unless you change your name. So again, if that's something that matters to you, it might not matter to all folks, but if you want your privacy, or, if you want your name to not appear, then just change your name before you share something in the live chat. Okay? So I just want to just make sure folks understand that. And then, yeah, when you're, saying things in the live chat, or if you have questions, I always just like to set an intention of being mindful of how we're asking questions and, just sort of upholding respect and, upholding those sort of community values, even though I can't see you all. But I just wanted to have that be existing in the space. And then at the end, I'll sort of, I'll send in the chat a resource sheet that Gray Matters has compiled, that I've compiled to sort of take home with you all. And I'll also write in the chat an email that you can reach out to us through if you have any feedback, questions, things you want to see more of. Being that today is sort of like our first webinar series, we really, really, really want to hear from you in terms of what might be helpful for you. What do you want to see more of? Maybe what you're interfacing with. Is there anything you're struggling with? What you really want to be supported in. So we're in this with you, and we really want to support you and hold you wherever you're at. So yeah, that's just sort of what I wanted to say to contextualize things a little bit. And again, this is a completely free webinar series. Anybody can join this, your friends, your family, your pets, anybody at all. This webinar series will be taking place Mondays and Fridays from 10 a.m. to 10:30. Mondays and Fridays, and so there'll be alternate people leading these, but I'm so happy that I'm with you all today, and that I can sort of set this intention with you all today. And so it is currently 10:11, so I thought right now would be a great chance to sort of transition into a tiny mindfulness activity, and you can do this right where you are. I'm currently in my office, and I thought that maybe we could just ground ourselves a little bit today, March 30th, this Monday morning, in the midst of sort of all of the heaviness that's been happening, if we could just all try a mindfulness activity. So I invite you all to do this with me right now. Pretty short. It'll be about 7 minutes. So I anticipate us ending around 10:20. And then, after 10:20, we'll sort of talk a little bit about problem-solving strategies that you might want to consider, that might be helpful for you, things that I've tried, as I'm sort of dealing with my own ebbs and flows during this time. So we can talk about that. And then the last 5 minutes, we can have questions and sort of anything that might be coming up for you. Okay, so I'm going to make sure everyone can see me. So this is going to be a tiny grounding exercise. And so I'm going to close my eyes during this exercise, and I invite you all to do the same. You don't have to by any means. This exercise will work best if you are able to and have access to and can sit in a chair, sort of like me. If that feels comfortable and if that's something that you can do, I invite you all to sit in a chair and, have your feet sort of on the ground, and you can have your hands anywhere that feel comfortable, anywhere that feel natural for you, and we'll begin. So I'm going to start by closing my eyes, and I'd like to invite you all into doing 3 deep breaths with me. And so I'm going to count off, and on the count of 3, if we could all breathe in deep in through our diaphragm, hold, and then exhale out through the mouth. So really a big chest expansion we should be able to feel. And we're going to do 3 of these to sort of launch us. Okay. So 1, 2, 3. One, 2, 3. One, 2, 3. So I invite you all to just stay with your breath right now as it is coming up for you, and to just really lean into a posture that is comfortable for you. And I really want and invite all of you to really think about your feet currently. Your feet on the ground, wherever you might be. And I really want to invite you all to think about what your feet mean to you. where your feet have taken you, any negative or positive associations you might have with your feet. To really just pause there and to really just think about your feet meeting the ground, that boundary between them. To really just stay still in that and to really focus on that point of your body. To just really focus on the breath as you think about your feet. Really notice if any tension is arising in your body. Notice how your body feels as you're thinking about your feet. Are there any images that might be coming up? Any sensations? Any feelings of levity or constriction? And really just try to stay present with the thought of your feet on the ground and how your feet might be feeling at this moment. And then gradually, I invite you all to move that feeling up through your leg, to really think about your legs for a moment, and start to move your feet. This can mean just moving your toes around, hearing them crack if they do. This could mean really tapping into the smaller bones on top, your foot plates, how your sole meets the ground. Really just try to pause in the movement of your feet. Think about your ankles and your legs and the energy connecting all three of those points. And as you do this, think about all of the places your feet take you, where they take you, how they take you, what your relationship to them has been. Really take this time to think about what they might mean to you and how they're feeling to you in this moment. They feel heavy, light. What is your body telling you? And all throughout this, I invite you to remember to stay connected to your breath and steady breathing, noticing the way your chest expands, how your belly falls and rises as you stay connected to your legs and ankles and feet. Just going to take a time of pause for you to just sit with that part of your body, really hone in and focus on the present moment with your feet. And when it feels okay, we're going to slowly transition into 3 more sets of breathing in through our diaphragm. So I'm going to count off to 3. And remember, we want a really nice, deep breath in our rib cages, right here in our center. And we're going to exhale through the mouth. We're going to push out through the mouth. So 1, 2, 3. One, 2, 3. I invite you just to stay in that moment. And whenever it feels natural and okay and comfortable to maybe shake out your body a little bit. Roll your neck around if it feels comfortable to do so. Shake out your feet. And whenever it feels comfortable, to slowly open your eyes and reemerge with this present moment. So here I am with you all. I'm wondering and I'm curious to know how all of you might be feeling after doing that. Some questions that I always like to explore after doing an intentional mindfulness technique such as that is thinking about how did my physical body feel as I was really honing in and focusing on those parts, and what might have been coming up or showing up in my body. And so for me, I definitely noticed some tension in my back that definitely released and alleviated itself with the deep exhale out. So I'm wondering sort of how that might have shown up for folks. If folks feel lighter just after doing that tiny 7-minute session, and what it sort of felt like to sort of be connected intimately with that moment and that part of your body, that lower half sort of region of the body, and to just really stay there and think about the feet as feet and how your feet feel to you and what feelings or what images or what wavelengths might have been coming up as you were thinking about your feet. And so that's an example of a mindfulness activity that can be really helpful when we sort of wake up in a state of hyperarousal. When our nervous system is sort of placing us into that mode where we're thinking about maybe, or where we're having maybe anxious thoughts, or where we're stuck in a negative feedback thought loop cycle, or maybe we're waking up and we're feeling fright, or we're carrying something, we're carrying an energy that doesn't serve us. And so that can be a really, really helpful technique to just keep us locked in place and have us be really intentional about what our feet might be telling us, and just to sit with the physicality of our feet and that body part, and what it might mean to just pause and land there in that moment. And so that's definitely a mindfulness technique that I love. It's one that I feel like is pretty accessible. You could do it sort of on your bed, or you can do it if you don't have access to a chair. It can be helpful, or maybe easier, quote unquote, for some folks to do it in a chair. But any movement or any body position that affirms you and makes you feel good, you can do this. And it's really about focusing in on a locus point in the body and just sitting with it and trying to sort of reduce any outside noise or any outside messages, and really cementing ourselves into the present moment and into that part of the body. And just staying with that is can be a really great form of just mindfulness and helping us to sort of self-center in a way. So I'm so happy if folks chose to do that, that you all did that with me. And I really hope that it brought you some perspective. And so, there's a plethora of these, and they can be totally tailored to what you need and what you want and what's showing up for you. But they can be really nifty, ways to just stop all the noise that's happening around us and just sort of be quiet in our bodies, if that makes sense. And so now I thought, we have about 6 minutes. So maybe for the next 3 minutes, I can just shoot out and talk to you all about different problem-solving strategies. So I don't know for folks in the webinar, but I know for me, a big thing that I've been struggling with is just not being able to sort of touch or like be around folks that I really miss and love, and kind of like really I'm sort of submerged in like this longing and this sort of this feeling of missing very deeply. And so one thing that I do that sort of helps me is that I really try to be very intentional about my breakfast. So like, since I can't really touch people, I try to be very intimate with the food that I'm touching. And so like, you know, if I'm chopping up vegetables or if I'm making like, if I'm roasting veggies, like something that I love to do is like roast cauliflower with like a little bit of garam masala. So like I'll like massage the cauliflower with coconut oil and then add the spices. And so like even just having that time to touch food kind of makes me feel more affirmed and more aligned with my vibration as somebody who identifies as very touch oriented. And so I don't know if any of this can resonate, but just being really intentional or just having quiet time where we're interacting with food, if we have access to the food, could be really great. You know, if you hadn't had time to maybe cook before or create recipes that you really wanted to, or if you've always really wanted to like do something to that effect but didn't have the time to, it can be really, really helpful to just sit aside like a quiet time whenever you're having your meals. And if you're with people or not, perhaps it can be like a collaborative thing too, if it feels safe to do so. Like I know families can, you know, cook a lot more together during this time, and you know, maybe there can be music or a show or nothing at all. Just you and the food, or you and the food and the other people that you might be self-isolating with. But that's something that I really like to do, just sort of be really intentional about the activities that I'm doing, whether that means giving myself a sound bath, which just means playing music that's really soothing for you, just to de-escalate any anxiety or constriction or tension in the body, can be really helpful. This can also be like a wonderful, wonderful time to be creative. You know, art, playing around with Photoshop, or like anything fun that you, like a program or anything fun that you maybe always wanted to do, but maybe didn't have the right time to do so, or maybe now if there are more pockets of time to sort of do hobbies or engage in hobbies, that would be great. And again, you also don't need to do anything at all. Like just because this pandemic is happening does not require your productivity. And I know that, you know, there can be that atmosphere, like you must be productive. And I know like that's very intimately connected to capitalism and just sort of how our society kind of runs. Like we must be productive at all times. But I just want to reiterate to you all that whatever is showing up for you is okay. And you also don't need to do anything at all. You can just let your body be and let your body exist in the way that it's showing up in the moment as well. But these are just some perhaps helpful creative strategies to reroute if being is hindering, or if something is coming up for you that's hindering or derailing your relationship to mental wellness, or to you know, a relationship to your mental health. And so, you know, being intimate with food, journaling, definitely stretching. If you feel comfortable going outside and getting some fresh air, that can be really helpful and really just reinvigorating. Like I know I have dogs, so like when I'm outside just getting fresh air, I feel like, wow, I can like breathe. You know, so laughter, there are so many different techniques, and I know like we're almost out of time. So I'm going to post in the live chat right now one link to a cheat sheet that we have created that also has some writing prompts for you all. I created these writing prompts. I'm an MFA student currently, so I love to kind of just give myself writing prompts. So this could be just a really cool time to just fuel journaling or creativity. And then I will also write down the email if you have any questions, feedback. And we really, really want to hear from you, how this felt for you. Was this helpful for you? What you'd like to see more of? Yeah, so I'm going to do that right now. So here pasted is the email, office@graymatters.sprucecare.com. You can shoot us an email there of how you felt this session went, what, anything that might be coming up for you, anything that you're particularly struggling with. And then I will post as well the resource link. Okay. So folks should have a link to our resources and the email. So again, thank you so much for just being with me today. It means so much. And I hope that this was productive for you, or this was helpful for you in any way, and that you know that Gray Matters is with you. And we look forward to seeing you at the next episode on Friday at 10. So I hope you all have such a wonderful day. I'm sending you loving and healing energy. And we are with you in community and in solidarity. All right. Bye-bye.